Hello everyone, and welcome to Deep Dive, Unscripted. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé are aware that the show is full of unexpected turns and global relationships that frequently result in heartbreak. But today, we're uncovering what might be one of the most jaw-dropping betrayals in the franchise's history. I'm talking about Georgie Rusev recently sold her house for $1 million. However, after the sale, Darcey Silva cunningly stole the entire amount and fled with her secret lover, Alex. Darcey Silva has been secretly in a romantic relationship with Alex for the past 2 years. Who is Alex? Later, Darcey Silva divorced Georgie Rusev and officially married Alex. With this truth exposed, the situation turned even more tragic. To understand the magnitude of the betrayal, we must first understand the very public relationship between Darcey and Georgie. Their love story played out over multiple seasons of 90 Day Fiancé, a roller coaster of tearful reconciliations, heated arguments about ambition and support, and grand romantic gestures. Through it all, the narrative was one of two flawed people trying desperately to make it work. Georgie, the Bulgarian personal trainer, was often portrayed as lazy, unmotivated, and a user of Darcey's wealth and fame. Darcey, the Connecticut-born entrepreneur and reality star, was the emotional, vulnerable woman who just wanted a strong man to provide for her and love her unconditionally. But as we now know, the reality was far more complex and far more sinister. After a tumultuous journey, Darcey Silva and Georgie Rusev officially tied the knot in a private ceremony in 2022. It was a fresh start. They purchased a home together in Middletown, Connecticut, a symbol of their commitment and a shared investment in their future. The house became a central character in their social media feeds, a backdrop for their coupledom. Georgie says, "The house, it was our project, our sanctuary. After all the drama with the show, with her family, with my past, we just wanted something that was ours. We picked out the furniture together. I painted the walls. We planted a tree in the backyard. It was supposed to be the foundation, you know? The thing that remains when the TV cameras go away." But beneath the surface of curated Instagram posts and filmed dinner dates, sources close to the couple say the relationship was strained. The core issues, finances, trust, and differing life goals, never truly went away. The dynamic was always off. Darcey would talk about being a power couple, about expanding the House of 11 brand globally. Georgie was more pragmatic. He wanted stability, maybe start his own fitness business. Darcey saw that as a lack of ambition. She'd say things like, "I need a king who can match my energy, my vibe." There was a constant pressure on him to be more than he was. It was during this period of private tension and public reconciliation that Georgie made a significant decision. He owned a property in Bulgaria, a valuable asset from his life before Darcey. With the US real estate market booming, he and Darcey allegedly made a joint decision: sell the Bulgarian property and invest the proceeds into their life in Connecticut, paying off the mortgage and funding new business ventures. Georgie, it made sense. The money was just sitting in equity over there. We had plans. She wanted to open a new storefront. I was looking at gym locations. We talked about it for months. It was a joint decision. We were married. What was mine was hers, and what was hers was mine. That's what I believed. That's what any husband would believe. The sale process took months, but in early 2024, it was finalized. The property sold for the US equivalent of just over $1 million. The net proceeds after fees and taxes were wired into a joint bank account that both Georgie and Darcey had access to. This moment, the moment the funds cleared, was the starting pistol for a plan that had been over 2 years in the making. While Georgie Rusev was building a life with his wife in Connecticut, Darcey Silva was living another life entirely, a digital, secret life with a man known only as Alex. Our investigation, through digital forensics and source testimony, has revealed that Darcey and Alex's relationship began not weeks, not months, but a full 2 years ago. Dr. Lena Shaw, based on the metadata we've been able to analyze from recovered messages, which are now part of the legal discovery process. The first contact between Darcey and Alex occurred in March of 2022. It began innocently enough, a fan message on Instagram from an account under a different name. He was charismatic, flattering. He understood the brand, the persona. He wasn't a typical fan. He was a strategist. Alex, we have discovered, is a 35-year-old Australian national from Sydney. He presented himself as a successful entrepreneur in the luxury goods sector, though specifics of his business remain murky. He was a world away from Georgie, both geographically and in temperament. Alex was everything Darcey ever said she wanted on TV. He was jet set. He'd send her pictures from yachts in Monaco, from five-star hotels in Dubai. He talked a big game about high finance, international deals. He fed the fantasy. Georgie was reality, taking out the trash, arguing about bills. Alex was a fantasy, whispering sweet nothings from a different time zone. The relationship was conducted almost exclusively through encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp and Telegram. They had scheduled video calls when Georgie was at the gym or running errands. Our sources indicate that over these 2 years, Alex became more than a secret admirer. He became her confidant and, crucially, her financial advisor. Georgie, I remember, she became secretive with her phone. Always face down. Always on Do Not Disturb. She'd say it was business partners or producers calling at strange hours. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? You don't expect this. You don't expect a whole other relationship happening in your own house. The most shocking revelation is that they met in person, at least 3 times over the 2-year period, under the guise of business trips or girls' weekends. Dr. Lena Shaw, we found deleted search history for flights from Los Angeles to Sydney. We found credit card statements, though they were later paid off from a separate account for luxury hotels in LA, which we believe was their meeting point to avoid suspicion. She would tell Georgie she was meeting with production companies or fashion buyers in California. In reality, she was meeting Alex. The topic of money began to creep into their conversations. Alex, the sophisticated international businessman, allegedly began planting seeds of doubt in Darcey's mind about Georgie. In the recovered messages, Alex's tone shifts. He begins asking questions. Are you sure Georgie has your best interests at heart? $1 million is a lot of money for a man with no business acumen. You're the star. You're the brand. That money should be working for you, for your empire. He was systematically isolating her and positioning himself as the savior. The plan was no longer just about love. It was about money. And the trigger for the plan was the impending sale of Georgie's house in Bulgaria. The funds from the Bulgarian property sale hit the joint Wells Fargo account of Darcey Silva and Georgie Rusev on a Tuesday morning. The balance was $1,007,458.32. For the first 48 hours, everything seemed normal. Georgie has stated that they even went out for a celebratory dinner. But behind the scenes, Darcey was executing a series of financial maneuvers with the guidance of Alex, whom she was in constant contact with. Georgie, we had dinner. We talked about the future. She was sweet, affectionate. She said, let's not touch the money for a few weeks. Let it sit. Let's think carefully. I agreed. It felt like we were on the same page. It was all a performance. A brilliant, terrible performance. What Georgie didn't know was that letting it sit was never the plan. On Thursday, Darcey visited the bank branch alone. Our sources within the bank, who wish to remain anonymous due to ongoing legal proceedings, have revealed what happened next. Darcey Silva, a recognizable public figure, presented her ID. She explained that she and her husband were making a large investment in a business opportunity and needed to wire the funds. Because it was a joint account, the bank's policy typically requires both signatures for a wire of that magnitude. However, confidential source bank employee, she was very convincing. She was upset. She said her husband had been called away on a family emergency back to Bulgaria and had signed a letter of authorization before he left. She provided the letter. It looked professional. It had what appeared to be Georgie Rusev's signature on it. That letter was a forgery, a near-perfect one. The bank employee, perhaps starstruck or simply fooled by the convincing documentation, processed the wire transfer. The entire balance, minus a few small fees, was wired to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands, registered to a shell corporation. Dr. Lena Shaw. The Cayman Islands are a notorious haven for banking secrecy. Once the money hits an account there, it can be instantly rerouted to a dozen other accounts across the globe. It's like throwing a stone into a deep, dark well. You might hear a splash, but you'll never find the stone again. This was a sophisticated move. This was Alex's expertise at work. The money vanished from the joint account on a Thursday afternoon. Georgie was completely unaware. The final act of the heist was about to begin. On Friday, the day after the wire transfer, Georgie went to a scheduled physical therapy appointment for an old shoulder injury. He was gone for approximately 3 hours. This was the window Darcey needed. Georgie, I came home. And the house was quiet. Too quiet. Her favorite heels weren't by the door. I called her name. Nothing. I went upstairs, and her walk-in closet was half empty. All her designer bags, her best jewelry, the things she loved, gone. My heart just stopped. I knew. On the bedroom vanity, next to her empty jewelry box, was a single handwritten note. Georgie, I read it. I read it 10 times. I couldn't breathe. I fell to the floor. I thought she'd been kidnapped. I called the police. I was hysterical. While Georgie was calling the police, Darcey was already at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. Using a passport she had renewed months prior under the pretext of potential international filming, and paying for a first-class ticket with a private credit card, she checked in for Qantas flight TUF-12, non-stop from New York to Sydney, Australia. She boarded the flight under her own name. The plane took off at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As it climbed into the night sky, Darcey Silva was leaving her old life, and her husband, behind for good. Georgie, the police, they traced her phone. They said it was last pinged near JFK. Then it was turned off. Then they looked at flight manifests. They told me she was on a plane to Sydney. Sydney? I didn't know anyone in Sydney. It made no sense. Then, I remembered the late-night calls, the secret smiles at her phone, and it all crashed down on me. The money. I ran to my laptop. I logged into the bank account. The screen was empty. The balance was $82.11. The $1 million was gone. Georgie, I lost everything. In one day. My wife, my home, my future, my life savings, everything. I had nothing. For days, the story was a mystery. Then blurry paparazzi photos emerged from a beachside cafe in Manly, a suburb of Sydney. They showed Darcey Silva, looking relaxed and happy, holding hands with a tall, handsome, unidentified man. The world finally met Alex. The story exploded. The narrative shifted from a missing person to a potential international financial crime. Georgie, from his empty house in Connecticut, was served with divorce papers via international courier. The filing was shockingly aggressive, citing irreconcilable differences and making claims about Georgie's financial irresponsibility during the marriage. It was a preemptive strike. The divorce papers, they were a joke. They were full of lies. She was trying to build a case to justify what she did. My lawyer said it was a strategy. She was trying to muddy the waters before the financial stuff even came out. Before Georgie could even fully respond to the divorce filing, another hammer blow fell. Darcey Silva's official Instagram account, which had been silent since her disappearance, posted a new photo. Darcey Silva had not only left her husband and taken his money, but she had also officially married another man in a foreign country, all within a matter of weeks. The sheer audacity of the move left everyone speechless. The legal battle became a nightmare of international jurisdiction. Georgie's lawyers filed lawsuits for theft, fraud, and forgery in the United States. However, serving papers to someone in Australia, especially when the money had likely been moved through several offshore havens, is a slow, expensive, and incredibly difficult process. This is a prosecutor's nightmare and a defense attorney's dream. The victim is in Connecticut. The alleged perpetrator is in Australia. The money is in the Cayman Islands, or possibly elsewhere by now. The US and Australia have an extradition treaty, but it's for serious crimes. Proving financial fraud across borders, especially with a spouse, is incredibly complex. This could take years to untangle, and there's no guarantee Georgie will ever see a dime of that money again. The situation, as promised, turned truly tragic. Georgie, unable to pay the mortgage on the house that was now a monument to his betrayal, was forced into a short sale. He moved into a small rented apartment. I lost the house we built together. I sit here now with nothing but the clothes on my back and the support of a few true friends. She took it all, not just the money. She took my trust in people. She took my belief in love. She took my future. And she's out there, living my life with my money, with another man. How do you come back from that? I don't know if I can. The story of Georgie Rusev and Darcey Silva is a modern-day Greek tragedy played out on the world stage. It's a stark reminder that the curated realities we see on television are often fragile facades, masking much more complicated and sometimes darker truths. As of the recording of this video, Darcey Silva and her new husband, Alex, remain in Australia. They continue to post on social media about their luxurious new life, seemingly oblivious to the storm of legal and public outrage swirling around them. Georgie Rusev continues to fight his legal battle, but the emotional scars, he says, may never heal. He is a man who gambled on love and trust and lost everything. This is a story with no easy ending, no satisfying conclusion. It is a story of a heist not just of money, but of a man's entire life. More update. 90 Day Fiancé star Darcey Silva has recently made headlines for several reasons. Fans grew deeply concerned after reports spread that her face fillers might be affecting her blood circulation, which could pose a serious health risk. At the same time, an emotional moment unfolded when she reunited with Georgie's family after 13 years, bringing many fans to tears. However, her honeymoon didn't go as planned and instead went completely off the rails due to an unexpected incident. Amid all these dramatic turns, Darcey also shared an update on her relationship with her twin sister Stacey, which has only fueled more curiosity among fans. 90 Day Fiance. Darcey's face fillers are cutting off her blood supply. Fans fear for her life. It appears that Darcey Silva, star of 90 Day Fiance, may have gone from having superficial fillers to having potentially dangerous ones. She has been precariously balancing, but now it appears that she is losing control. It would seem like Darcey's blood flow is being choked by her overdone fillers. Many of Darcey's fans are worried that she may be seriously ill, since her appearance has started to change. They are pleading with her to get medical attention because they fear for her life. Breast augmentation is only one of several surgeries that 90 Day Fiance star Darcey Silva has had done. Unfortunately, her newly enormous and heavy breasts appear to be causing more problems than they are worth. The famous person recently came clean about her thoughts of undergoing breast reduction surgery. She now desires a smaller, more natural look because she thinks her implants are too hefty. For this reason, Darcey and Stacey intend to go to Turkey for breast reduction surgery. Darcey Silva, star of 90 Day Fiance, is apparently in a jam right now. She posted a video of herself eating nachos on social media not long ago. The famous person ate while gleefully dipping her food into various sauces, all while the camera was rolling. Redditors, though, were eager to point out, and not always in a positive way, that Darcey's appearance had changed. Some parts of Darcey's face were turning blue, as the OP pointed out. A tinge of blue appeared on her lips and chin. It seems they were so intense that not even a screen could conceal them. The question posed in the thread was, are fillers severing blood vessels? So many of Darcey's admirers pleaded with her that she see a doctor. It was obvious that the celebrity couldn't chew food correctly. Overconsumption of fillers has been associated, according to some users, with difficulties chewing and swallowing. She has trouble even speaking, let alone eating, one admirer said. Someone else questioned Darcey's need to post videos of herself eating when she clearly had a hard time doing it. Darcey doesn't appear to be normal, and her followers think it should be enough to warrant a visit to the doctor. Darcey Silva reunites with Georgie's family after 13 years. The moment brings tears to fans. In 90 Day Fiance, everyone was shocked when Darcey Silva's emotional reunion with Georgie's family members took place. The happy pair, who are great at cheering each other up, went on a vacation outside of the US to strengthen their marriage. There is a lot of tension between them, but they were given another opportunity to fix things. Darcey and Georgie decided to liven up their romance by acting out scenes from their honeymoon in a hotel room. There she was, questioning the room's walls as she wished she could make out with her husband. She thought they were too thin, so they'll have to soundproof the room before they can enjoy their private time. While Georgie listened from outside, she pushed herself onto the bed and laughed loudly. Darcey Silva has recently made it clear that she is unhappy with the way her breasts make her look. She had high hopes for the outcome of her breast augmentation procedure, but the fact that she had just revealed her intention to decrease her bust size upset her. She is very comfortable getting another makeunder, as she candidly discusses her plastic surgery experiences and road to recovery. Darcey is constantly experimenting with new appearances. The reality star appears to be struggling to cope with the weight of the breast implants. According to her, less is more. Therefore, she would choose a size or two smaller. She and Stacey would be thrilled to return to Turkey for their surgeries again. In season 9 of Happily Ever After, Darcey Silva traveled to Bulgaria with Georgie to visit his family. Several factors contributed to the trip's stunning turn of events. Even though they hadn't seen each other in 30 years, her husband and sister were reunited in that touching moment. Since this was Darcey's first family supper, she reacted with tears. It wasn't until recently that Darcey and Georgie were able to visit his homeland after their 2023 wedding. She thought about playing it low when he urged her to impress his family. The audience was captivated by her understated clothing like never before. In an effort to show more flesh and experiment with her cosmetics, she discarded her figure-hugging dress style. Darcey had the utmost regard for Georgie's loved ones, but her unexpected outbursts of weeping stunned everyone around her. She told Georgie she didn't want to do it while sobbing at the dinner table. When the TLC star finally got to meet her family, she broke down in tears and was quite emotional. "I let my emotions show, and they are aware of that now," she declared. It would appear that Darcey became exposed after being overwhelmed with Bulgarian culture. She ended the program by saying that in the days to come, there will be more dramatic moments and poignant moments revealed. Additional information regarding her husband's family will be shared. For her, the journey was like something out of a fairy tale, but the cuisine was completely foreign. Darcey Silva's honeymoon goes off the rails for this shocking reason. In 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 9, Episode 5, which aired on August 3, 2025, one of the show's stars. Yes, Darcey Silva was back in action, tested the soundproofing of her and Georgie Rusev's hotel room by producing fake S noises. Darcey is a hilarious, charming, and rather naive woman. She's acting crazy now that she's in his home country with Georgie. 90 Days Georgie Rusev and his fiancé Darcey Silva are visiting Bulgaria for two reasons: to enjoy the honeymoon they were never able to have. Darcey has a connection to Georgie's family as well. The honeymoon suite was unavailable for Darcey and Georgie to stay in. Darcey made the decision to do a test when they arrived at their hotel to ensure that other visitors wouldn't overhear them when they were intimate. She started making S noises, and it was all hilarious since it was Darcey. Though it's easy to doubt her decisions at times, this woman deserves to be happy. Although she has the right to a romantic honeymoon in a glamorous foreign country, her relationship with Georgie hasn't exactly been easy thus far. In addition to being from a different nation and being younger 32, Georgia might have hidden reasons for dating the 50-year-old blunt. Darcey appeared to be somewhat dissatisfied with her partner in an earlier Instagram post on December 21, 2024. Mary Pants shared a screen image of Darcey's comment on one of Georgie's posts, which said, "So funny you act like you love me." It was a little startling. Darcey has had a lot of terrible boyfriends. They had a long way to go in terms of loyalty, sincerity, and respect, even though they might not have been the worst people in the world. Tom Brooks, for instance, started making fun of her weight gain after meeting her at a restaurant. There has been turmoil in paradise, as demonstrated by Darcey's comment. But thus far, everything appears to be going smoothly in Bulgaria. However, there is a small snag. Georgie is concerned about his parents' opinions of his bride. Darcey and Georgie were married on November 12, 2023. During her meet and greet with his conservative parents in 2025, Darcey wore a really exposing shirt. It's clear that he wants her to dress differently. Even if it's his wife, he has no right to dictate what she should wear. But there is some justification for wearing modestly to appease a partner's parents, especially if they are quite conventional. Her connections with his father and mother are still up in the air. Darcey, who is renowned for her extravagant glitz, is seen in the Instagram image above, gleaming in heavenly white. She isn't a minimalist per se. She adores deeply tanned skin, blonde hair, outfits with plunging necklines, and a lot of makeup. Darcey alone. But Georgie's parents could want a more traditional style. There is still hope for this pair in spite of this setback and their previous issues. It's encouraging that they both seem excited for their sexy time in Bulgaria. A romance is sustained by passion. Additionally, Georgie's parents might see behind Georgie's outward appearance and find the genuine Darcey. A kind person who merely wants things to work. Men are simply difficult to deal with, and she is usually the one making an effort. Darcey Silva gives update on relationship with twin sister Stacey. A peculiarity exists in the realm of twin power. There has never been a 90-day fiancé fan who hasn't loved Darcey and Stacey Silva. After all, Darcey and Stacey was its own spin-off series that ran for 4 seasons. The 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, actress and TLC favorite, are now co-starring on the 9th season with Georgia Rusev. On the other hand, it's not easy to incorporate only one twin. In addition, while promoting the new season, Darcey updated Stacey on her twin life. Darcey assured Us Weekly that he and Stacey would always be there for each other and remain Silva strong. Even though we love one another, we argue frequently. As twins, we have a tendency to set off each other's explosions. We are unaware of any other connection. Life is full of ups and downs. In the most recent episode of 90 Days, The Last Resort, the complicated dynamic between the twins was on full show as Stacey accused her sister of meddling too much in her marriage to Florian Sukaj. A great place has been reached between Darcey and Stacey, so she can now report this with joy. According to her, Florian is currently in Albania with her spouse, enjoying some quality time together. It's also good to have some room to breathe. We collaborate and accomplish tasks as a team. Here in Miami, we call it home. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have space, the fashion designer remarked. Twins are like having a sister, always. Whoever you ask, I'm either the third wheel or she is. Double dates with spouses are something that Stacey and Darcey definitely do. In addition, they maintain a daily phone call schedule regardless of other circumstances. The two of us are usually doing things together, Darcey said. Going to events is something the four of us do frequently, particularly in Miami. House of 11 is our fashion label and we collaborate on shows. When Stacey and I collaborate, we write and perform catchy music. Not long ago, we released not one, but 2 new tracks. For that, we are quite excited. Having pleasure is all that matters to us, but when we argue, we immediately put it behind us. Darcey breaks down crying in awkward first meeting with Georgie's parents, as his mom calls it worrisome. While meeting Georgie Rusev's parents for the first time in Bulgaria, Darcey Silva becomes quite emotional, even to the point of tears. Neither of them appears happy with the way things are progressing. Per People's exclusive sneak peek of 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, airing on August 24th, it appears that Georgie's parents are not impressed with Darcey's attempts to win them over. His wife has never met them before, and Georgie has been anxious about bringing them home for the first time in 13 years. bringing Darcey home to his folks is actually a first for him. Georgie says, "I do not want to stress them out." She continues, "I want my parents to enjoy the moment of seeing me in such a long time." We are not off to a good start at this meeting. We learn that Darcey shows up in inappropriate clothes, first because of Georgie. Later on, when they settle down to supper, tensions rise. Grandma Georgie thinks her kid can be a little temperamental in Bulgarian. After that, Georgie explains, "Just saying that pretty much, I don't listen." Darcey builds on his mom's comment to discuss how her relationship with Georgie doesn't always meet all of her requirements. Her statement, "I just want to be in the know of my husband's life," causes Georgie to confess that her husband has a problem sharing information. As the communication problems affecting their relationship become apparent to Georgie's parents, she reaches for a napkin to dab her eyes. "What is the reason for your tears? What was he trying to say?" Georgie wonders, pointing out that they've talked at length about his communication problems this season. "I'm explaining to them also I have an issue in myself too," he explains. That is absolutely not true. Darcey breaks down in tears as Georgie keeps defending his tendency to be reserved with new people. Mother Georgie steps in and advises her daughter and son to relax, calm down, and speak more calmly to one another. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.